wonderful words from our ISKCON hosts, and I would like to thank you for such a gracious opening of your home here to welcome us. And these flames, among many things, let them symbolize the light of love and commitment we have during this journey together that won't end when we leave here, but a journey to be on this earth, forces for peace, forces for mutual understanding, forces for justice and healing. May the light we see here be the beginning of greater and greater light that we will share. I'd also like to thank Dr. T.D. Singh. He is here with us. I know in my heart he is here with us. I had the privilege more than once of traveling around India with him as he helped imagine the United Religions Initiative into being. I'd like to share one vision of his that we spent the better part of 5 days hopping on planes here and there talking about, which was the vision that the day would come that there would be interfaith peace villages in every part of the world, places where people of all faiths could go to be on the ground living with people of other faiths, to come to understand them better, and together to learn how to be better peacemakers, to learn how to reach out and help those most in need more effectively. A place where people could come together to learn to live together and to dedicate their lives in new ways. That vision is still very much alive, and I think we're creating an experiment in it during these days here. Let this be the inaugural T.D. Singh Interfaith Peace Village for 2 weeks. And though I rarely would take issue with Dr. T.D. Singh, it was actually 4 years it took us to write the mission statement, not 3. 4 years to write one sentence, and it's worth repeating right now. It occurs twice in our charter, at the beginning of the preamble, and then all alone at the purpose statement. I would like to share it with you as it begins the preamble of our charter. We, people of diverse religions, spiritual expressions, and indigenous traditions throughout the world, hereby establish the United Religions Initiative to promote enduring daily interfaith cooperation, to end religiously motivated violence, and to create cultures of peace, justice, and healing for the earth and all living beings. May our time together these 2 weeks be dedicated to helping to make that purpose take a deeper root in our own hearts, in our own lives, and in our world. And 2 final things. The first is that in 1995, as we prepared, the beginning glimmer of the United Religions Initiative, prepared to have a 1-hour interfaith service at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco to help commemorate the 50th anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter in San Francisco. For 3 days before that, 200 young leaders gathered in a conference called Rediscovering Justice. And that conference really was the beginning of the United Religions Initiative. This gathering here of young leaders is the largest gathering of young leaders in URI's name since 1995. If that gathering launched the effort that led to the writing and signing of URI's charter, what will this gathering launch? I ask that as a question for us to hold during our time together without any idea what the answer might be, but to let us be bold in imagining what might come out of this gathering. I don't think anyone could have imagined in 1995 what would have happened when the URI initiative was nudged forward. And finally, I'd like to share a story told to me by a dear friend. His name is Mas Kawahatsu. He is a priest in the Kanko Church, which grew up out of the Shinto faith in Japan. Mas's daughter Jetty and my daughter Naomi were kindergartners together and went to school together from the time they were 5 years old until they were about 14. Mas and I became very good friends over that time, and one particular conversation we had has stayed with me, and I pray will for the rest of my life. He told me about a time when he was sick and not getting better. He'd gone to see doctors and nothing seemed to help. One day he was lying in bed, looking out the window, wondering, why am I not getting better? And you might almost say it was a prayer. Why am I not getting better? The answer that came to Mas was, because you're not grateful. So, Mas Kawahatsu told me, I adopted a practice of saying thank you 100 times a day. I said, well, Mas, if you can do that, I'll give it my best. And then about a year later, I was so happy, I went to Mas and said, Mas, I'm saying thank you 100 times a day. And he said, you know, things are so hard in our world right now. I'm telling everyone now that we should say thank you 1,000 times a day. So I won't give a number, but I would ask that this time we have together be filled with an attitude of gratitude. That we remember when we wake up in the morning to say thank you. And just to look at each other and say thank you. Thank you for being you and for being here. And this one is hard for a lot of us, but maybe when we look in the mirror to say thank you for being you, for being me. That we might fill our time together with gratitude, because I believe in my heart that the best things in life, the things that the world most desperately need, grow out of gratitude. A gratitude grounded in the love that our Creator, known by so many names and no names, has for us and wants to have work through us. It's a privilege to be here with all of you. Thank you for dedicating this time in your lives to be together, and I look forward to what will grow from this time.